The galaxy was vast, full of stars that twinkled like forgotten dreams. In one corner of this endless expanse, a human named Jae-min worked aboard the Starlight Runner, an interstellar trade vessel. He wasn't anything special, just another technician fixing broken parts and keeping the ship running smoothly. Humans like him were often overlooked in this universe dominated by powerful alien races. But Jae-min didn't mind. He preferred staying out of trouble. One day, the Starlight Runner docked at Zythera, a planet known for its towering crystal spires and arrogant inhabitants. The Zytherans were tall, their skin shimmering faintly with colors that shifted depending on their mood. They thought of themselves as superior to all other species, especially humans. To them, humans were weak, clumsy, and unworthy of respect. Jae-min stepped off the ship, carrying his toolbox. His job was to help load supplies onto the vessel. As he walked through the bustling spaceport, he noticed how everyone avoided looking at him. A few aliens even sneered as they passed by. It wasn't unusual. This was life for a human in the galaxy. Then she appeared. Her name was Haeri, and she stood out even among her own kind. She had long, silvery hair that seemed to glow under the artificial lights of the station. Her eyes sparkled with mischief, and there was something about her smile that made Jae-min feel uneasy but curious. Unlike most Zytherans, who acted cold and distant, Haeri watched him closely, almost studying him. "Hey, human," she called out, her voice teasing. "What's your name?" Jae-min stopped in his tracks. No one had ever addressed him directly before, not like this. It's Jae-min," he replied, clutching his toolbox tightly. "Well, Jae-min," Haeri said, stepping closer. "You're not very impressive, are you? Look at you. All small and fragile." She tilted her head, her lips curling into a playful smirk. "But I guess that's what makes you so amusing." Jae-min wasn't sure how to respond. Was she mocking him? Or was this some strange attempt at being friendly? Before he could figure it out, Haeri gestured toward a group of Zytherans standing nearby. They were dressed in ornate robes, clearly members of her family or clan. One of them held a large, metallic object, a suit of armor. "This is my ancestor's armor," Haeri explained, pointing at the gleaming artifact. "It's ancient, powerful, and only responds to true Zytheran blood. Isn't that right?" She turned to her companions, who nodded solemnly. Jae-min glanced at the armor. It looked old, but well-maintained. Its surface etched with intricate patterns that pulsed faintly with energy. He couldn't help feeling drawn to it, though he didn't understand why. Haeri suddenly laughed, snapping Jae-min out of his thoughts. "Tell you what," she said, her tone mischievous. "Let's see if this piece of junk reacts to you, just for fun." "What?" Jae-min blinked, confused. "Why would I try it on?" "Oh, come on," Haeri urged, grabbing his arm. "Don't be such a coward. It won't hurt you, or maybe it will. Who knows? Either way, it'll be hilarious." Before Jae-min could protest, Haeri dragged him over to the armor. Her friends chuckled, clearly entertained by the idea of a lowly human attempting to wear something so sacred. One of them helped Jae-min put it on, adjusting the straps and seals until it fit snugly around his body. At first, nothing happened. Jae-min felt awkward, standing there in the oversized armor while everyone stared at him. Then, without warning, the armor began to hum. A soft glow spread across its surface, growing brighter with each passing second. Tiny sparks of energy danced along the edges, sending shivers down Jae-min's spine. The Zytherans gasped, their amusement turning to shock. Even Haeri looked stunned, her mouth slightly open as she watched the display. The armor wasn't supposed to react to anyone except pure-blooded Zytherans. Yet here it was, responding to a mere human. "What's going on?" one of Haeri's companions demanded, stepping forward. "This shouldn't be possible." I don't know," Haeri stammered, her earlier confidence wavering. She reached out hesitantly, as if wanting to touch the armor, but afraid of what might happen. Jaemin, meanwhile, felt strange. The armor seemed alive, wrapping itself around him like a second skin. It wasn't heavy or uncomfortable. Instead, it felt natural, as if it belonged to him. For a brief moment, he saw flashes of images, battles fought long ago, warriors clad in similar armor, charging into the fray. These visions faded quickly, leaving behind a lingering sense of power. Finally, the glow subsided, and the armor went still. Hae-ri and her friends exchanged uneasy glances. Whatever they had expected, it certainly wasn't this. Well, Hae-ri said after a long pause, forcing a laugh, that was unexpected. Maybe the armor just likes jokes as much as I do. Her words broke the tension, and her friends joined in with nervous laughter. But Jae-min noticed the way they looked at him now, with suspicion and unease. Something had changed, though he couldn't quite put his finger on it. As he removed the armor and handed it back, Hae-ri gave him a thoughtful look. "You're more interesting than I thought, Jae-min," she murmured. "Maybe too interesting." Jae-min didn't respond. He simply nodded and returned to his work, trying to ignore the weight of her gaze. Little did he know, this encounter would set off a chain of events that would change everything for him, for Hae-ri, and perhaps even for the entire galaxy. For now, though, life went on as usual. The Starlight Runner prepared to leave Zythera, and Jae-min focused on his tasks, pushing the strange incident to the back of his mind. But deep down, he couldn't shake the feeling that something extraordinary was waiting just around the corner. Days passed after the encounter on Zythera, but Jae-min couldn't forget the strange sensation of wearing the ancient armor. At first, he thought it was just his imagination, playing tricks on him. But soon, small changes began to happen, things he couldn't ignore. It started with his reflexes. One day, while fixing a broken panel aboard the Starlight Runner, a loose bolt slipped from his hand and fell toward the floor. Without thinking, Jae-min reached out and caught it mid-air. His heart raced as he stared at the tiny piece of metal in his palm. He wasn't usually this quick. Something felt different. Then came the dreams. Every night, Jae-min found himself transported to another time, another place. He saw battles fought under alien skies, warriors clad in glowing armor charging against shadowy enemies. These visions were vivid, almost real, and they always ended the same way, with a warrior collapsing, their armor dimming as if its power had been drained. Jae-min woke up each morning drenched in sweat, his mind filled with questions he couldn't answer. Hae-ri's face kept appearing in his thoughts too, though not because of her teasing smile or mocking tone. There was something about the way she had looked at him when the armor reacted curious, maybe even a little impressed. It made him wonder if she understood more than she let on. The crew of the Starlight Runner didn't notice anything unusual about Jae-min. To them, he was still the quiet, unassuming technician who kept to himself. But Jae-min knew better. Whatever connection he had formed with the armor wasn't fading, it was growing stronger. One evening, disaster struck. A malfunction in the ship's engine caused a sudden surge of energy, sparking fires in one of the cargo holds. Alarms blared throughout the vessel, and the crew scrambled to contain the chaos. Jae-min grabbed an extinguisher and rushed to help, his mind focused only on stopping the flames before they spread further. As he entered the burning hold, the heat hit him like a wall. Thick smoke filled the air, making it hard to breathe. Through the haze, he spotted 2 crew members trapped near a collapsed stack of crates. They called for help, their voices panicked. Without hesitation, Jae-min moved forward. Suddenly, he felt a surge of energy course through his body. It wasn't painful, it was empowering. His movements became sharper, faster, and more precise. He lifted the heavy crates effortlessly, freeing the trapped crew members and guiding them to safety. When the fire was finally extinguished, the captain approached Jae-min, his expression a mix of gratitude and confusion. "How did you do that?" he asked. "You're not exactly built for heavy lifting." Jamin shrugged, unsure how to explain what had happened. "I don't know," he said truthfully. "I just reacted." Word of his heroic actions spread quickly among the crew, and soon everyone wanted to know how he had managed such feats. Jamin brushed off their questions, claiming it was adrenaline. But deep down, he suspected the truth lay in the armor, or rather, the lingering effects it had left behind. Meanwhile, news of the incident reached Hayri back on Zythera. She had been monitoring reports from the spaceport where the Starlight Runner docked, curious about Jamin's progress. When she heard about his unexpected strength and agility, her curiosity turned into concern. Could it be true? She muttered to herself, pacing in her private quarters. The armor's reaction to Jamin had already raised suspicions among her people. If word got out that he was developing powers because of it, things could get dangerous for both of them. Determined to find answers, Hayri decided to visit the Starlight Runner. Posing as an official inspector, she boarded the ship during its next stop at Zythera. Her arrival caused a stir among the crew, who eyed her warily. Humans rarely interacted with Zytheran nobles, especially ones as unpredictable as Hayri. She found Jamin in the engine room, tinkering with a damaged console. Well, she said, leaning against the doorway. "Look who's become famous overnight." "Ah." Jamin glanced up, startled. "Hayri, what are you doing here?" "I came to see if the rumors were true," she replied, stepping closer. "People say you've been acting strange since our little experiment. Faster reflexes, unnatural strength, the works. So, spill it. What's going on?" Jamin hesitated. He didn't want to admit how much he'd changed, not even to her. But something about Hayri's sharp gaze made him feel like lying would only make things worse. "The armor," he admitted quietly. "It's like part of me now. I can feel it sometimes, even though I'm not wearing it." Hayri's eyes widened. "That shouldn't be possible," she whispered. "The armor is tied to Zytheran genetics. Unless—" She trailed off, lost in thought. "Unless what?" Jamin pressed. "Unless there's something special about you," Hayri said finally. "Something no one else has noticed until now." Over the next few hours, Hayri tested Jamin's newfound abilities. She watched as he demonstrated enhanced speed and strength, marveling at how naturally he adapted to his changes. Despite her initial skepticism, she couldn't deny the evidence in front of her. "You're different," she said at last. "Not just physically but mentally too. Those dreams you mentioned, they're memories stored within the armor. You're accessing them somehow." "There's another. They're memories stored within the armor," Jamin frowned. "But why me? Why would the armor choose someone like me?" Hayri shook her head. "I don't know yet, but whatever the reason, we need to figure it out and fast. My people won't take kindly to a human wielding Zytheran power. If they find out about this, they'll come after you." Her warning sent a chill down Jamin's spine. For the first time, he realized the danger he was in. The armor wasn't just a relic of the past, it was a key to something far greater. And if Hayri was right, then Jamin might hold the answer to unlocking its secrets. As they parted ways, Hayri promised to keep his secret safe for now, but she also warned him to stay vigilant. The galaxy was full of threats, both known and unknown. And with powers like his, Jamin was bound to attract attention sooner or later. Back aboard the Starlight Runner, Jamin returned to his duties, trying to act normal despite the storm brewing inside him. He didn't fully understand what was happening to him, but one thing was clear: his life would never be the same again. The armor had awakened something within him, something powerful, mysterious, and potentially world-changing. For now, all he could do was wait and see where this path would lead. Jamin's life changed completely after his meeting with Hayri. She had promised to help him understand the strange powers he was developing, but she also made it clear that time was running out. The Zetherans were already suspicious about what had happened on the day Jae-min tried on the armor. If they discovered how much he had changed since then, there would be trouble. Big trouble. Hae-ri arranged for Jae-min to return to Zythera under the guise of a routine maintenance check. Once there, she took him to a secluded training ground far from prying eyes. It was a vast, empty field surrounded by towering crystal spires that shimmered in the sunlight. The air felt different here, charged, almost alive. "This is where we'll start," Hae-ri said, crossing her arms as she surveyed the area. "You need to learn how to control your abilities before someone notices." Jae-min nodded nervously. He didn't feel ready for this. Everything happening to him still felt surreal, like a dream he couldn't wake up from. But deep down, he knew Hae-ri was right. If he wanted to survive, he needed to master whatever power the armor had awakened inside him. The first few days were tough. Hae-ri pushed Jae-min hard, forcing him to test his limits. She taught him basic combat techniques, showing him how to move quickly and strike with precision. At first, Jae-min struggled. His body felt awkward, uncoordinated, as if it didn't belong to him anymore. But slowly, things began to click. One morning, during a particularly grueling session, Hae-ri threw a weighted practice sword at Jae-min. "Catch!" she shouted. Instinctively, Jae-min reached out and caught it without hesitation. The movement was smooth, natural, as though his hands knew exactly what to do. For a moment, he stood frozen, staring at the weapon in disbelief. "See?" Hae-ri said with a satisfied grin. "You're getting better. The armor's influence is growing stronger, but you're learning to adapt." As the days turned into weeks, Jae-min grew more confident. His strength and speed increased, and he found himself able to perform feats he never thought possible. But physical training wasn't the only thing on the agenda. Hae-ri also encouraged him to explore the visions he kept seeing, the flashes of ancient battles and forgotten warriors. "These memories aren't random," she explained one evening as they rested by a small fire. "They're part of the armor's legacy. By understanding them, you might unlock its true potential." Jae-min closed his eyes, focusing on the images swirling in his mind. This time, instead of fighting against them, he let them come. He saw a warrior standing alone on a battlefield, surrounded by enemies. The warrior raised their hand, and a wave of energy erupted, obliterating everything in its path. Then came darkness and silence. When Jae-min opened his eyes, Hae-ri was watching him intently. "What did you see?" she asked. "A battle," Jae-min replied softly. "And something else. Power. A lot of it." Hae-ri nodded thoughtfully. "That must have been the armor's ultimate weapon. According to legend, it can wipe out entire armies. But using it comes at a cost. It drains the wearer's life force." Jae-min felt a chill run down his spine. "So, if I use it, you could die," Hae-ri finished bluntly. "Which is why you need to be careful. Don't try anything reckless until you fully understand your connection to the armor." Despite the risks, Jae-min couldn't deny the sense of purpose growing within him. For so long, he had been just another faceless human in a galaxy that barely noticed people like him. Now, he was part of something bigger, something important. And Hae-ri seemed to notice the change in him too. "You're not the same person who stepped onto my planet weeks ago," she remarked one afternoon as they practiced sparring. "You've grown stronger, not just physically, but mentally. You believe in yourself now." Jae-min smiled faintly. "I guess I didn't have much choice." Hae-ri laughed. "True, but don't sell yourself short. Not everyone could handle what you're going through." Their bond deepened as they trained together. Hae-ri stopped treating Jae-min like a joke and started seeing him as an equal, a partner. She confided in him about her struggles within Zytheran society, how her curiosity about humans had always set her apart from her peers. In turn, Jae-min shared his fears about the future and the burden of carrying such immense power. But their peaceful training sessions couldn't last forever. Back on Zythera, tensions were rising. Rumors spread about Jamin's growing abilities, fueled by whispers among the crew of the Starlight Runner. Some Zytherans viewed him as a threat, while others saw potential in him. Debates raged in council chambers, with elders arguing over whether the armor should be taken away from him or destroyed entirely. Hayri did her best to shield Jamin from these discussions, but she knew it was only a matter of time before someone came looking for answers. When that day arrived, she vowed to stand by his side, no matter the consequences. One evening, as they sat beneath the stars, Hayri turned to Jamin with a serious expression. "There's something you need to know," she said. "My people are divided. Some think you're dangerous, while others believe you might be the key to reviving our lost glory. Either way, you're becoming a symbol, and symbols inspire action." "What kind of action?" Jairi asked cautiously. "War," Hayri replied grimly. "An old enemy is returning an empire that once nearly wiped us out. They've been gathering forces, preparing to strike. If they find out about you and the armor, they won't hesitate to attack." Jamin felt a weight settle on his shoulders. He had known this moment would come eventually, but hearing it aloud made it real. "So, what do we do?" "We fight," Hayri said firmly. "Together. You've already proven you're capable of great things. Now, it's time to show the galaxy what you're truly made of." For the first time, Jamin felt ready. He didn't know what lay ahead, but he knew one thing for certain. He wouldn't face it alone. With Hayri by his side and the armor's power coursing through him, he was prepared to take on whatever challenges came his way. As the night wore on, Jamin stared up at the sky, wondering what secrets it held. Somewhere out there, an ancient enemy waited, plotting destruction, but somewhere inside him, a spark of hope burned brightly. A reminder that even the smallest beings could change the course of history. Tomorrow would bring new trials, new dangers. But for now, Jamin allowed himself a moment of peace, knowing he had found something worth fighting for. The calm before the storm shattered one fateful morning. Scouts from Zythera reported sightings of an enemy fleet approaching the planet, a force that had haunted the galaxy for centuries. The name sent shivers down everyone's spines. The Krylos Dominion. Once thought defeated, they had regrouped and rebuilt their armies, driven by a thirst for revenge against the Zytherans who had humiliated them long ago. Hayri wasted no time. She called an emergency meeting with Jamin, her expression grim but determined. "It's happening," she said as soon as he arrived. "They're coming faster than we expected." Jamin felt his stomach tighten. He had known this day would come, but hearing it confirmed made everything feel so much more real. "How long do we have?" he asked quietly. "A few days at most," Hayri replied. "We need to prepare." Now, over the next 2 days, chaos erupted across Zythera. Ships were readied, weapons checked, and soldiers trained non-stop. Despite their pride, even the Zytherans knew they couldn't face the Krylos Dominion alone. They needed allies, and reluctantly, some began to see Jamin not as a threat, but as a potential savior. Hayri took charge of organizing a small strike team to intercept the enemy fleet before it reached the planet. Alongside her were skilled pilots, engineers, and warriors, all volunteers, ready to risk their lives. And then there was Jamin, the unlikely human, whose connection to the ancient armor made him both a symbol of hope and a target for destruction. On the eve of the mission, Hayri met Jamin in private. "Are you ready for this?" she asked, her voice soft yet firm. "As ready as I'll ever be," Jamin answered. Truthfully, he wasn't sure. The weight of what lay ahead pressed heavily on his shoulders, but he reminded himself why he was doing this: for Hayri, for humanity, and for all those who believed in him. The next morning, the strike team launched into space aboard sleek fighter ships. Jamin wore the armor once again, its familiar presence wrapping around him like a second skin. As they approached the enemy fleet, The tension aboard the ships was palpable. Everyone knew the odds were against them. The Krylos Dominion outnumbered them 10-1. When the first shots rang out, chaos erupted. Explosions lit up the void of space as the two sides clashed. The strike team fought valiantly, weaving through enemy vessels and taking down as many as they could. But despite their skill, they were overwhelmed. That's when Jae-min stepped forward, or rather, flew. Using the armor's power, he propelled himself into the heart of the battle. His movements were fluid, almost instinctive, as he dodged laser blasts and countered attacks. Every strike he landed sent shockwaves through the enemy ranks, leaving trails of destruction in his wake. Hae-ri watched from her ship, her heart pounding. She had seen Jae-min train, but nothing could have prepared her for this. He moved like a force of nature, unstoppable and fierce. For a moment, she allowed herself to believe they might actually win, but the Krylos weren't easily deterred. Their leader, a towering figure clad in dark crimson armor, emerged from the flagship. With a single command, he unleashed a devastating attack that scattered the strike team. Ships spiraled out of control, their crews scrambling to survive. Jae-min locked eyes with the enemy commander and charged. The two collided in a blaze of energy, their weapons clashing in a dazzling display of light. Each blow shook the surrounding space, sending ripples through the battlefield. For a brief moment, Jae-min gained the upper hand, driving his opponent back with sheer determination. But the cost of using the armor's full power quickly became clear. Pain surged through Jae-min's body as the armor drained his strength. His vision blurred, and his movements slowed. Sensing weakness, the Krylos commander struck hard, knocking Jae-min backward. "Jae-min!" Hae-ri shouted, abandoning her cover to rush to his side. Her ship hovered nearby as she leapt out, landing beside him just as the enemy closed in. "You shouldn't have come," Jae-min gasped, clutching his chest. "This is my fight, and I told you, you're not fighting alone," Hae-ri shot back, raising her weapon. Together, they stood shoulder to shoulder, ready to face whatever came next. Inspired by their bravery, the remaining members of the strike team regrouped and launched a desperate counterattack. Against all odds, they managed to push the Krylos forces back, forcing them to retreat temporarily. But the victory was bittersweet. Many lives had been lost, and the enemy fleet remained intact, waiting for another chance to strike. Back aboard their damaged ships, the survivors tended to their wounds and mourned their fallen comrades. Jae-min sat quietly, exhausted, but alive. The armor pulsed faintly around him, its energy diminished but still present. He knew this was only the beginning. The Krylos wouldn't give up so easily. Hae-ri joined him, sitting close enough that their shoulders touched. "You did well today," she said softly. "Better than anyone could have hoped." I didn't do enough," Jae-min replied, his voice heavy with guilt. "Too many people died. Because of me." "No," Hae-ri said firmly. "Because of you, we're still here. Because of you, we have a chance to fight back. Don't forget that." Her words brought a small measure of comfort, but Jae-min couldn't shake the feeling that the hardest battles were yet to come. The visions he'd seen, the ultimate weapon hidden within the armor, weighed heavily on his mind. If he wanted to end this war, he might have to pay the ultimate price. As the battered fleet limped back toward Zythera, Jae-min stared out at the stars. Somewhere beyond the horizon, the Krylos Dominion plotted their next move, and somewhere deep inside him, the armor stirred, whispering secrets of power and sacrifice. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new dangers. But for now, Jae-min allowed himself a moment of rest, knowing he had earned it. Whatever happened next, he would face it head-on with Hae-ri by his side and the legacy of the armor guiding his path. The final battle loomed over Zythera like a storm cloud. The Krylos Dominion had regrouped, their fleet larger and angrier than ever before. They approached the planet with one goal in mind: to crush the Zytherans once and for all. And Jae-min knew he was at the center of it all. Haeri stood beside him on the bridge of the flagship, her expression calm but resolute. "This is it," she said softly. "No turning back now." Jae-min nodded, his grip tightening on the hilt of the weapon Haeri had given him, a blade forged from fragments of the ancient armor's design. He could feel its energy humming in sync with the power coursing through him. It wasn't just strength or speed anymore. It was something deeper, something tied to who he was becoming. The plan was simple yet dangerous. Jae-min would lead a small team directly into the heart of the enemy flagship, targeting their leader, the crimson-armored commander, who seemed almost invincible. If they could take him down, the rest of the Krylos forces might fall into disarray. But getting close enough to do so would require every ounce of skill and courage Jae-min possessed. As the fleets clashed in space, explosions lighting up the darkness, Jae-min and his team launched their assault. Piloting sleek fighters, they weaved through enemy ships, dodging fire and returning shots with precision. The armor responded to Jae-min's commands as if it were alive, shielding him from harm while amplifying his abilities. When they reached the flagship, things got even more intense. Boarding parties fought viciously in the narrow corridors, laser blasts ricocheting off walls as allies and enemies clashed. Jae-min moved like a shadow, cutting through the chaos with deadly efficiency. Every step brought him closer to the commander and to the truth about the armor's ultimate power. Finally, Jae-min faced the enemy leader in the flagship's command chamber. The room was vast, filled with glowing consoles and hovering holograms that flickered ominously. The commander stood tall, his crimson armor gleaming under the artificial light. His voice boomed across the space. "You think you can stop us? You're nothing but a human playing dress-up." Jae-min didn't respond. Instead, he focused on the visions flashing in his mind, the memories stored within the armor. He saw the warrior again, standing alone against impossible odds. This time, though, the vision didn't end in darkness. It showed the warrior raising their hands, calling forth a blinding wave of energy that consumed everything around them. "I know what I have to do," Jae-min whispered to himself. The fight began. The commander was fast and brutal, his attacks relentless. But Jae-min matched him blow for blow, his movements fueled by the armor's power and his own determination. Sparks flew as metal clashed against metal, each strike shaking the very air. Then came the moment of truth. As the commander lunged forward, Jae-min closed his eyes and reached deep inside himself. He felt the armor's energy surge, filling him completely. Pain shot through his body, but he pushed past it, focusing on the task ahead. With a roar, Jae-min unleashed the ultimate weapon. A wave of golden light erupted from the armor, spreading outward in all directions. The force of it knocked the commander backward, his crimson armor cracking under the strain. The entire flagship trembled as systems overloaded and alarms screamed. When the light faded, the commander lay motionless, defeated. Jae-min collapsed to his knees, gasping for breath. The armor pulsed faintly, its glow dimmer than before. He had done it, but at a cost. Haeri found him moments later, rushing to his side. "Jae-min," she cried, her voice filled with panic. "Are you okay?" "I'm still here," Jae-min managed to say, though his voice was weak. "But I don't think I'll last much longer." "No," Haeri said firmly, helping him to his feet. "You're not dying today. Not after everything you've done." Together, they made their way back to the escape pods, narrowly avoiding collapsing debris as the flagship began to break apart. Outside, the tide of the battle had turned. Without their leader, the Krylos forces faltered, retreating into the void. Victory belonged to Jae-min and his allies. Back on Zythera, celebrations erupted as news of the victory spread. People cheered and danced in the streets, hailing Jae-min as a hero. But despite the praise, Jae-min felt different. The armor had become a part of him, merging with his very essence. He wasn't just human anymore, but he hadn't lost himself either. Hiri stayed by his side throughout it all, her respect for him growing stronger with each passing day. She vowed to continue challenging her society's prejudices, inspired by Jaemin's courage and sacrifice. Together, they worked to forge a new alliance between humans and Zytherans, united against future threats. In time, Jaemin returned to Earth briefly, hailed as a legend among his people. Yet he knew his journey wasn't over. The galaxy still held dangers beyond imagining, and now he had the power and the responsibility to face them. Standing beneath the stars one night, Jaemin looked up at the endless expanse above. Somewhere, out there, new challenges awaited. But he wasn't afraid. With the legacy of the armor guiding him, he was ready to protect not just humanity, but all those who called this galaxy home. And so, Jaemin stepped forward into the unknown, leaving behind a trail of hope and inspiration for others to follow. His story had become legend, a tale of bravery, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bond between two unlikely friends. Whatever came next, he would face it head-on, knowing he had already changed the course of history forever.